Hello there, it's me Phil from Change Tips and Tools, and I'm here with another requested video on how I generated lottery numbers in a recent Excel short that I put out. So a big shout out to George Basilic 9425, hope I pronounced that correctly. And also I'm going to add a little bit extra and show you how I did this, plus throw in some automation through macros that you can easily create yourself, and I'll walk you through that. So with that in mind, let's do this. So I've got this blank Excel file, and the first thing I'm going to do is save it as a macro enabled file. So I'm going to do File, Save As, and let's call it my Lotto. And as far as the type, I'm going to take this XLSM extension, so a Excel macro enabled workbook, select that and hit save. I'm also going to create two tabs here. So we've got the first tab, I'm going to rename this as random. So this is where we're going to create the random numbers. Then I'm going to add another one, to hit that plus sign. I'm going to call this, rename it to be Lotto, like so. Now, the process of generating random numbers I'm going to show you is what we want to do is, if I do equals rand array, and I'm going to base this on the UK Lotto. So we have 6 balls, so 6 numbers, and they're from 1 to 59. So I want to generate random numbers for those 6 numbers, those 6 balls. So I'm going to do 10,000 rows using the RANDARRAY function. I'm going to put it across 20 columns, and the minimum number is going to be 1, and the max number is going to be 59. And then I'm going to do comma again, and I want it to be whole numbers, so I'm going to select true here for integer, like so, and then close that bracket. And now if I hit return, that's now generated 200,000 random numbers between 1 and 59. Fantastic. Now the thing about any kind of random function within Excel, it's considered to be a volatile function, which means, in short, that if your spreadsheet recalculates, even if it's not changing the source numbers of the function, is that the rand functions will automatically then just regenerate each time your spreadsheet refreshes, which we don't want. Once it's randomly generated them, we want to keep those values. And the way that we're going to do that is if I select A1 and do Shift Control to the right, and holding down the Shift and Control button again and doing the down arrow, I'm then going to do Control Copy, then hold down the Shift and Control and then V to paste values only, and then I'm going to select A1 and do Escape. And that's now generated 200,000 numbers, and these are all values only. Now, as you can imagine, that is a little bit, you don't have to do that each time you want to regenerate your numbers. So what I don't want to do is have to manually do that each time. So let me just get rid of these for a second. So to the right, to the bottom, just delete it, and then go scroll to the top. Control Home to go back to A1. Is I'm going to record a macro, and then I'm going to adapt that macro so we can then easily, at the click of a button, just regenerate those numbers each time that we want to generate our Lotto numbers. So what I'm going to do is go to the View ribbon, select Macros, do the drop down, do Record Macro. I'm just going to select these options as far as this workbook, and it's macro 1, so I'm going to click OK. And then I'm going to redo what I just did. So I'm going to do equals rand array, rows are going to be 10,000, 20 columns by 20 columns. The lowest number is going to be 1, and the highest number is going to be 59, and I want it to be a whole number, like so. Close that bracket and hit return. So it's now generated those 200,000 numbers. I'm then going to select A1. I do Shift Control to the right. So remember, the macro is recording every step I'm doing here. And again, Shift and Control down. I'm going to do Control copy, then hold down the Shift and Control key and then press V to paste values only. And then going to select A1 and then press Escape, that cut and paste mode, like so. I'm then going to go to my, on the view ribbon, macros, stop recording. So I've now recorded a macro to generate these numbers. So if I can, on any of these, if I just right click on the tab and do view code, on the modules, you can see this module 1 that's created. So I'm going to select that and I'm going to call this module in properties MC Lotto, like so. And I'm going to double click on this MC Lotto, and there's that code that it's created. There's a function it's created. So that's just an easy way of creating, starting off your procedures, is record it through Excel and then adapt it. So I'm going to rename this now to be generate underscore numbers, like so. The macro, I'm just going to here just put a note in here, so create, or remember it's always good to put a note in your code. Generate random, can't type today, random numbers, like so. Wonderful. And then, so what I'm going to do is I want to select this sheet, so type sheets, open bracket, open quotation mark, so it's going to be random, so that's the name of the sheet, random. Close those quotation marks, close the bracket, and then do stop, full stop, select, and there you go. So that's now going to select the random sheet, and then I want to move this here up, and I want it to, in fact I want it twice, don't I? So I'm going to copy that. I want to select the sheet, select A1, then put that formula in, and then here, Control V, get rid of that. So it then selects cell A1, puts the formula in, then reselects A1, does that range selection to the right and then down. I'll then copy it, and then based on that selection, it will then paste the values only, and then I'm going to reselect A1, and then go and then escape that copy mode like we did. Wonderful. So I'm going to take this here, and I'm just going to control copy it. So I'm going to reuse that code, because what I want to do is each time we regenerate, we need to clear what was there before. So I'm going to do sub and call this clear numbers and hit return. And let's just put an apostrophe here, clear numbers, just as a note. Do Control V, and again, so again I want the sheet selected. I don't need this formula in there now. I don't need it selecting A1 twice. I do want to select it, but I don't need this. And I don't need that there. So, oh, don't want to put a break in or stop. So I'm going to select that and delete that as well. I'm going to change this, instead of selection.copy, I'm going to change that to clear contents. So it gets rid of the numbers. And there you go. So now it's going to select the area, select that area, and it's going to clear the contents and then reselect A1. And I'm then going to, once I've done that, I'm going to call this. So once it's cleared the numbers, I want to generate the numbers. So what I'll do is take the name here of this procedure, copy it. I'm then going to here, I'm just going to do Control V, so it calls that procedure. And based on the fact that we've done range A1 select, I don't need these two here anymore. Yeah. So I'm just going to delete those. I don't need them. And once it's done it, I'm just going to say, put a message box to inform the user. So open quotation mark, the message is going to be lottery numbers have been generated. Close quotation marks, do a comma. So the type of message box, and if I just put box, actually type it properly. So the type of message box is going to be VBI for information. I'm going to do comma again and give it a title and just call it Lotto. Close those quotation marks. So what this should do is select the sheet. It should then select A1. It will then select the area, clear the contents, select A1 again, then jump to this procedure, put that formula in, select A1, then select the area, copy it, and then turn it to values only, and then give me a message. That's what it should do. So if I then just do debug, compile, that looks fine. If I click the Excel icon here to go back to my spreadsheet, and if I then do here, do view, on the view ribbon, do macros, view macros, just this workbook. So if I start off with clear numbers, and then it'll run this as well. If I do run, there you go. Now, the only thing is that I don't want to see the screen flickering like that. So, but we'll take care of that in a minute. We'll add some additional stuff to it. So let's go to our Lotto. So let's talk about how we then can take those random information and generate our lottery numbers. So first of all, I need my numbers. So 1 to 59. So let's use sequence to create that. So put 59 rows, close that bracket, and there you go. Now let's put number of occurrence. Yeah. So what I want to know is how many times does this number appear in those random generated numbers, and the way that I'm going to do that is do equals count. That's the COUNTIF function. So the range is going to be all these lottery numbers, all 200,000 of them. So if I then hold down the shift and control key, do to the right and then down, so now selected that entire area, do function for to make it absolute, and then do comma, and I'm going to count based on this number here, and then close the bracket and hit return. So the number 1 has appeared 3,443 times. See that? So if I then copy that down by just double clicking, and there you go. So now what I want to know is what's the first largest number, second, third and fourth, fifth, and so on, as far as the appearances. So if I do reference, and it's going to be 1 to 6, and I want to, as far as the positions, so this will be for my lottery ball 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on, is I want to find out which is the largest number by using the large function. My array is going to be these counts, so shift control to the bottom. I'm going to do function for to make it absolute, and then as far as that k argument is, I want the first largest. So this is where this reference number comes in. So I'm going to select that. So I want the first largest number there, and hit return. So if I then copy that down, and there you go. So now I've got positions. So let's now create the lottery balls here based off this information. So let me do lottery numbers. There's a title. I'm going to select those two columns, do control 1, and I'm going to align them horizontally across center across selection like so. Click OK. On the home ribbon, I'm just going to select that as a format. And as far as the balls, I want ball 1 to 6 again. And then I'm going to use the match function to say find that number in here. So the position that it finds it will relate to the ball number. So if I do equals match like so. So lookup value is going to be that cell there, comma, my lookup array is going to be column B all the way down. So shift control down to the bottom, make that function 4 so it's absolute, and then the match type is going to be an exact match. I'm going to close that bracket and hit return. Again, if I just double click that all the way down, there are my numbers. Wonderful. So now I've got my lottery numbers. So let's now pull that together. So when we generate our lottery numbers, this then refreshes. So I'm going to do insert a shape. So let's take this shape here. So it's like a square with rounded edges. Let's just draw that there. I'm going to choose that as the color, and I'm going to type generate Lotto numbers like so. And let's make that home ribbon, let's make that bigger. Let's make it bigger than that, in fact. That's fine, like so. Yeah, make it bold. I'm going to center align it and center align it in the middle. And then as far as the format on the shape, I'm just going to add an effect here, preset. Select that one. That looks a little bit better. And then I'm going to assign a macro. So I'm going to right click on it and do assign macro. So it's in this workbook, and I'm going to choose clear numbers and click OK. So now when I do it, so if I click that, it should generate the numbers. I get the message, but I don't like that flickering, and I want it to return back to here. So right click on this tab, view code, double click on the module there, and so what I want to do here is I'm going to set first of all and do application dot screen updating equals false. That stops the screen changing like so. I'm going to copy that, do control copy, and just before the message box comes up, I'm going to do control V there. The other thing just before that, I'm going to say sheets open bracket. I'm going to do quotation marks. I want to select the Lotto sheets. I'm going to do L Lotto, close those quotation marks, close the bracket, full stop, then top sheet, select, sorry. So now what's that going to do? So let's just go back to, let's just do debug, make sure nothing's wrong. Go click the Excel icon. So I then do generate here. There you go, wonderful. Now, what you can see is that we've got some repeated numbers, because we've got a number that's got 3,462 counts repeated twice. So we need to do something about that with the large function. The way that we overcome that to make sure these are all unique numbers is if I take, so the first one's fine, first one the largest, I then take the second large formula here, I reference 2, so I'm going to put an if statement in here. So I'm going to do if, let me just select this range here and copy it, do control copy, and then what I'm saying is if anything in that range has got to be less than, so if it's less than that number in the previously selected row here, position, then you can use it. And I'm going to close that bracket and hit return. So now if I then copy this down, we've now got all unique numbers. If I do refresh, that's wonderful. So now that I've done that, I'm going to put some grid lines around this just to make it look a little bit better. And I'm going to hide these, I don't need to see them. Now, if I was to hide the random, because obviously we don't need the random function to be, the random numbers to be visible, but if I hide that and do hide, I expect when I click this I'm going to get an error. So if I do that, and yes I do, so I'm going to end it, and the reason being is because it's hidden. So I'm going to go view code, and again we're just going to add a couple of lines of code in here to allow for that. So again, what I'm going to do, screen updating's false. I'm then going to do sheets, open bracket, random, close that quotation mark, and I'm going to do full stop, visible equals true. Yeah, and I'm going to take that, I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to do, after that there, I'm going to make that false. So I'm going to make it visible, let it do everything it needs to do, and then re-hide it. Yeah. Oh, and let's just make that true there. Debug. It's fine. Let's just close that down. So let's give it a go now, see if it works. And I'm going to get rid of my grid lines as well. So let's just see. Boom. And it's generating my lottery numbers. And that's how you create a random lottery generator. So George, I hope that's answered your question and helps. And if you found this video informative and you'd like to ask for some other content as well, or how to do answer other problems within Excel, then please leave your requests in the comments. I'd love to have a crack at them. And please remember to click that like, subscribe, and smash that notifications button for future content. I wish you a wonderful day wherever you are in the world, and lots of luck with the lottery as well. And please take care, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video from Change, Tips and Tools. Bye bye now.